have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling Show, episode 210. I'm your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. To my right is Scholar Tarek.
Actually, you know what, fool? If it's okay with you, can I do the introductions this week?
I don't know. Can you?
Oh, I can, and I will. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 210 of the Scholars of Wrestling Show. I am your first ever Scholar of the Year, your first ever Scholars of Wrestling Champion, your only scholar to win the Scholars of Wrestling Royal Rumble game, and your current Mr. Scholar in the Bank, your undisputed Scholar Tarek. And right next to me is the chicken shit who likes to call himself the Scholars of Wrestling champion, Scholar Jeff. Hello, so-called champion.
This is... You gotta remove that from your all-consuming title, because really, there is a dispute. Otherwise... You are saying that this title is worth nothing, which is obviously not true.
Oh, no, that is not true at all, because it is worth something.
So therefore,
which is why it's still my journey.
It's
still my journey to regain that beautiful piece of plastic.
But if you're undisputed, why would you need a journey to get this anyway?
Oh, I'm undisputed because when it comes to
I'm disputing it right now.
When it comes to accomplishments in the Scholars of Wrestling show, I have done it all. And you are just one step in that direction.
All right, I'm having enough of this. Scholar Brian.
And there's also the one scholar,
Brian.
And then the one scholar who's
Brian.
failed to even accomplish one of these goals.
Scholar Brian.
Who's still trying to make a name for himself in the Scholars of Wrestling show, and that is Scholar Brian.
Hi, what have you been trying to say for the last minute?
I don't.
Scholar Jeff.
The so-called proud Scholars of Wrestling champion, yet he's too much of a coward and a little bitch to put that title on the line at Extreme Rules.
Kiss your mother with that mouth?
I do it all the time, and she loves it, and she's so proud of me, but I can't say the same for you, because you just keep going on how proud you are as Scholars of Wrestling champion, yet you're too afraid to put this on the line.
The ones with the least to say always talk the most. That's all I've got to say.
And that's the most cowardice thing to say about it.
You don't define the rules, buddy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Hey, no.
All I'm hearing is blah, 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 I'm a little girl.
Scholar Tarek, it's okay.
You hate girls?
It's okay. If he wants to be a little pussy and not put the title up on the line at Extreme Rules, let him. It just lets the fans know who the real competitors are here.
You can talk all the trash you want, but for the rest of the day, we also have a lot to cover in the world of wrestling right now. Which is what real champions do.
That's all I'm hearing. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm too scared. I'm too much of a little coward and a little bitch to go and just show that I actually am a proud Scholars of Wrestling champion.
Well, you know what? I am a proud Scholars of Wrestling champion.
Then prove it!
I will prove it by talking about wrestling in a little segment we like to call Backstage News.
Indeed, we shall go ahead and peek behind that curtain and just see how much of a little girl this man is, the so-called proud champ, and check in on a little
Backstage News.
Pussy.
And
he's calling you that. The man who has accomplished nothing so far as a scholar. The one of the original three who has just not gained anything. I know I'm attacking you as you're trying to get my back, but the truth hurts, Scholar Brian. The truth hurts.
Then why do I feel no pain?
Oh, you're saying you don't feel pain, but I just feel that rage, Robbie Rage, building up inside of you, waiting to burst, and just to finally put this title on the line at Extreme Rules.
Are you hitting on me?
If it gets you to put that title on the line, sure.
Doesn't even work. That is the worst.
You want to know what might get him to put the title on the line? Gone.
Oh! Hey! You go get that title right now.
No, I don't think I will.
Or maybe the championship.
No.
The proud defending champion should go get his championship belt.
I am not the one who besmirched the title. But anyway, this is just
if I don't get a
distraction.
title shot by the end of the show, I'm going to do a whole lot more than besmirch your title.
Don't we have a segment to cover right now?
I don't know. Do we? Champ?
Yes, we do. And in all complete seriousness, we did have a loss this week in professional wrestling with the passing of Mr. Matt Cappotelli, who is best remembered from his WWE days on one of the early seasons of Tough Enough, where
Season
he got
3.
Season 3, thank you, where he got beaten down rather savagely by Bob Holly.
Which is a normal thing for back then.
Yeah, definitely a different kind of world, but even then,
It actually is really, it's really sad to hear, because
It's sad
he
to
didn't.
yeah.
He never made it up to the main roster. He never really done anything past the developmental stages, but he still had a WWE contract. I'm actually kind of sad and disappointed in WWE not even putting up a screenshot of like a in memory of, like what they did with Vader. Yes, like I said, he hasn't been on the main roster, but he's still known in the WWE universe, at least ones in our generation.
And if you've got a bunch of management saying good things about the guy on Twitter, saying he's a loss and all that, then yeah, you should probably acknowledge it a little bit more than that. This is a guy who... Well, when was he diagnosed the first time? About 6 years ago?
About.
I feel like I lost track, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But ever since then, he's been like the pinnacle of toughness and bravery and courage, because he didn't stop fighting, never did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He was going around talking about his struggles and all that. I don't think he even stopped wrestling until like the second diagnosis hit, right? I think
Something
he was
like
still
that.
Around that.
I think he was
I know
still
he's still training.
He was still training. He was still wrestling in the indies. So this is the story of a guy who would not quit until he was physically unable to go on anymore, and that gets all the respect in the world from everybody in this business.
Agreed.
Yeah, an absolute loss, and his legacy will be just for how hard he worked and the heart of the true champion. You know what? You're a credit to the entire sport. Rest in peace, Matt Cappotelli. You will be missed. Now, in other news, apparently another one of our favorites has suffered a bit of an accident, specifically a car accident.
Got into a little bit of careless driving. Wasn't prepared for the car that he hit head on. Just like Scholar Jeff will be prepared for the for the car he's gonna run into at Extreme Rules. But yeah, this is
Wonderful segue, Brian.
I'm this. Like, you didn't even hear about it
Bray
until
Wyatt.
Monday. You didn't even hear about it until Monday.
Mm-hmm.
It happened when? Friday?
Yeah, it happened Friday on his way to a house show, I believe.
Yeah, so...
The same house show that got Ruby Riott injured.
It's
Thanks a lot, Dana Brooke.
It's of course. What did you think it was gonna be? Who did you think was gonna injure Ruby Riott? Of course, it was Dana Brooke.
I made sure it was nice and loud who it was, especially for you, Brian.
But Bray Wyatt, in all seriousness, I'm happy that he had minimal injuries, and it seems like it could have been a whole lot worse from what I've been reading on the dirt sheets and all that. It seems like he got off really lucky, and easy,
I heard the
and
same.
I'm glad to see that, even if it might have been his fault for being careless at the wheel. Never be careless at the wheel. Come on now.
Hey, at this point, I'm just glad he's not horribly injured, and he's going to presumably be back in time for Extreme Rules.
That's why I'm wearing this shirt tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Hoping for a speedy recovery.
Absolutely. Get well soon. Bray Wyatt would love you here on the Scholars of Wrestling. But anyway, that's it for Backstage News. Now let's kick things off with the rest of the week in earnest with a little bit of Monday Night Raw.
Allow me to vomit just a little bit and go on.
I just can't do it. We just can't have a Scholars of Wrestling champion just have his championship belt across the other side of the room.
Well, there goes
someone threw it. Only a true champion would actually go for his belt. That's why it's staying here where it belongs.
I did have a plan for that, but okay.
I just can't do it anymore.
Sure.
Okay.
Because look at it. It's so beautiful. It needs to be on the screen.
Well, you know what else is beautiful? Sasha Banks. Which was also the vehicle to bring back the greatest character in the history of wrestling itself, Dr. Shelby.
You know how I feel about this? You know when they did the second This Is Your Life with Mick Foley and John Cena, and it just fell flat? Like they tried to recover the magic, and it just didn't work. I feel like this. It did it again. Okay, it's just the way the WWE works. They shoot rabbits in a barrel, and come out with something amazing, and then it's just, I can't, and then it just epically fails on the second one. It was great to see Dr. Shelby back, because I didn't think they would ever do it, but this just fell flat in every way possible for me.
I said it last week that this segment, the only way this whole segment would be saved, the whole feud of Sasha and Bayley can be saved, as if this whole thing is being treated as a comedy skit with the return of the great Dr. Shelby. But not even the great Dr. Shelby was enough to really save this, because I'm sorry, it's not even Dr. Shelby's fault. It's actually Sasha Banks and Bayley's. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to say it, because I had it written down. What was it? What do you call it? The realm of friendship. The room of friendship, and the seven stages of friendship: honesty, truth, respect. Let's see, what was 3?
It's a kind of hokey stuff that sounds psychological. It's what everyone thinks therapy actually is, when it's actually not.
Even so, it's the only way for the segment to really work is to have everyone actually to be believing in what everyone's doing, and Bayley and Sasha Banks were actually the real down points of this storyline, because they were horribly written. What they were given was bad, and their performance, their acting, if you can call it acting, was bad.
It also goes back to the fact that, once again, I have to call out that this whole thing that they're doing is about 6 months overdue. This should have been the lead up. They started it, didn't they start it at leading up to WrestleMania or just after? They started this whole thing where Bayley and Sasha Banks kept going back.
Question: do they even have a match officially at Extreme Rules?
No.
Nothing. So it's we're still going. There hasn't been an official turn yet. It's been 6 months. Come on.
There's also a rumor they're going to have a match, but possibly at SummerSlam, and it'll lead to them teaming up, leading up to the rumors of them bringing tag team titles for the women's division.
I don't buy it.
This honestly is not enough to save the storyline. This is honestly still the worst feud of the year for me. I'm just